The panel will be moderated by our wonderful Emi Lorincz, who is the president of the CVA board. And I'll let her introduce the other panelists. Emi, the floor is yours.
So much. Hi, everyone. This is the last panel of the event. How are you feeling? Everyone is still having some room for paying attention? Yeah? Okay, that's great. So then please join us, dear panelists. I think we want to sit as the banner. So Jonas, Denitza, Svetlana, Monty. Crypto exchanges.
Excellent.
A lot is happening with exchanges, and we have a tradition of always having this panel every year. Funny enough, 2 years ago, 2 years ago we had this panel, and you were the only one, Denitza, who was here.
I'm the only one left.
Yeah, you're the only one left because there are two exchanges which are not around anymore. Oh. So, well, I hope that next year all of you will be here, and the year after, and going forward. So, why don't we start with a quick introduction? You as a person, please, Jonas, and who you are representing here?
Yeah, hi. My name is Jonas. I'm from Binance, as you can see. I look after, in Europe, I'm part of the European leadership team. I look after the DACH region, and I look at our fiat business across EU. So if you have any trouble getting fiat money in or out of Binance, come and talk to me. You can complain to me.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Denitza?
Yeah, I'm part of the business development team at Bullish in Europe. I cover continental Europe. I have a colleague also doing that in London. So I joined nearly 3 years ago. It was a very different exchange back then. We joke with my colleagues saying that it was like being a real estate agent selling this project that's going to be incredible and it's going to have all these features. So it's really cool to see that it finally came to fruition. My background is traditional finance on the equity side in Asia. So crypto versus Chinese and Indian equities is not very different, very volatile, very crazy. So it was a smooth transition, let's say.
Super. Thank you very much. Svetlana?
So, hi, I'm Svetlana Sailer, and I'm the Senior Institutional Relationship Solution Manager for Meer at Kraken. And Kraken is one of the largest, most trusted crypto exchanges globally. So we are 2,500 people spread across 60 countries, and we were the first who introduced fiat rails in British pounds and euro. So my background is also traditional finance on institutional side. I spent over 10 years in large financial institutions across Europe and joined Kraken 2 years ago. But my personal crypto journey started in 2015, so I belong to early adopters of the space. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I always wanted to ask you, you have any relation to Michael Saylor? As in you have the same last name.
Well, not really, just apart from the name.
Okay, super. Yeah, I thought that's the answer. I thought it's a good chance to ask. Monty, last but not least, CEX.
Yes, so my name is Monty Metzger. I'm founder and CEO at LCX. LCX stands for the Liechtenstein Crypto Assets Exchange. I would say in this panel we are the hidden champion. We're the new leader in Europe, and we are ready for what comes for the next couple of years. LCX has crypto integrity built inside. We're regulated now since January 2020, holding 8 TVTG blockchain law licenses or registrations, as they call it, in Liechtenstein. And we are now decided to double down in Europe. Instead of going into Asian markets or US, really double down on the regulatory environment. For our users, this means that the funds are fully segregated. We have regular audits by Grant Thornton, and provide a secure and trusted environment for trading. We hope to grow and list a lot of exciting new assets.
Super, thanks so much. Let's talk about the current market a bit. The first 2 quarters of the year have been really exciting when it comes to volumes, and also sentiment of the market. Just really curious how you see Denitza, Jonas, if you want to chime in or add to this.
Yeah, I feel like I forgot to introduce the exchange. Sorry about that. So maybe that's a good time to do it. So Bullish is a regulated institutional crypto exchange. We're an interesting one because we are hybrid between a centralized and a decentralized exchange. I mean, everything happens off-chain, but on top of a centralized order book, we have automated market makers. So I think we're one of a kind in the space. We like to think of ourselves as the adult in the room among the crypto players. Regulation was a starting point for us. We've always seen it as a requirement, not a feature. So for us, this year has been really incredible because our strength, I would say, is spot Bitcoin and ETH. We're ranked consistently top 3 to 5 globally for Bitcoin and ETH spot. So the approval of these ETFs has been incredible. I'd say that was probably the theme for us this year. We had a $7 billion ADV day. Our ADV is now consistently 2 billion. We surpassed 500 billion since launch, on track to surpass $1 trillion by November. So this whole ETF situation has been incredible for us. And on top of that, I believe it was in February, we listed the CoinDesk 20 perpetuals offering, index offering, and that was extremely well received as well. We believe that, as someone mentioned earlier on another panel, indexes just provide this standardization that crypto really needs. So you can think of it as the Dow Jones of crypto, essentially. It's like the top 20 most liquid and biggest market cap assets packed in an index. So that took off tremendously as well. I think it traded 5 billion since. So for us, I'd say the theme has been Bitcoin spot and ETH spot and CoinDesk 20, which was very well received.
This product is available where? So for users?
Yeah, it's listed. The perpetuals is listed on our exchange, so you can buy it. There's and then there's been various funds created on the back of it. 3IQ announced something. There was a Hong Kong fund that announced something. So that's been, I mean, that's also, I think, an example of how we can continue to innovate in the space and just continue to tap into new markets.
Super, thank you very much. Jonas, how you see the first 2 quarters?
For us in Binance, the first 2 quarters of this year were the first quarters after the US agreements. We made the US agreements November last year. Enabled us to turn the page, make a new chapter, make a new story into Binance. And look, it's the first 2 quarters of our new CEO, Richard. He's making a tremendous impact across the whole organization. He joined Binance before, but he's now the CEO since November. And product-wise, we've launched a lot of new products in the Web3 space. For example, the Web3 wallet, where users can self-custody their own funds as part of the Binance app, but it's your Web3 wallet. And then something that we're very proud of very recently, a payment channel came back. So you all expect to be able to buy crypto with your MasterCard, but since November last year, you weren't able to do that on Binance. And this week actually, we just announced it, and we just put it live again. So MasterCard has enabled us again, which is a great show of a change of wind and a change of direction. If somebody like MasterCard's enable you have to. You can imagine that there's quite a lot of checks behind that, quite a lot of due diligence.
That's right, but then also they have quite some gains, like the hefty fees when you buy crypto with a card. It's so there is a lot of incentive for them or in working with someone like Binance who has still a lot of users.
Yeah, of course. And look, at the end of the day, we want to enable our community to access crypto as easy as somehow possible. That could be with your Visa card, it could be with your MasterCard now, again, yay. And also, of course, via bank transfer or peer-to-peer if you prefer that. So for us, it's about offering the choice, and we're very happy that we are allowed to offer the choice again.
Yeah, thank you very much. Svetlana, my next question goes to you. So Kraken is the oldest exchange here on the panel, and I'm curious to learn what trends have you been seeing, as well as what sets you apart? Yeah, what is basically the value proposition of Kraken? What sets you apart from the others?
Yeah, good question. Well, indeed, Kraken has been around for 12 years. Not just maybe here, the oldest exchange, crypto exchange, but in the world. And the backbone or the fundament behind Kraken's idea is to be the entry point for crypto for all kind of clients all over the world. And with this, Kraken launched its Euro rail, fiat rail, in 2014. And that is the year where Bitcoin closed the year at $320. So quite a while ago. It followed by Swiss franc in 2019. And now Kraken is the market leader in Europe in terms of fiat Swiss franc and euro on-ramp. So it's the primary venue for these fiat currencies. Well, this refers to liquidity and volume, both. And just to give you an example, the market share of Kraken in euro is 40%, euro-nominated pairs, 40%. Coinbase has 10%.
Oh, wow.
And that has been maintained since the beginning of 2023, beginning of last year, and for the same period, the comparison with Coinbase. In terms of Swiss franc, we are one of the few exchanges offering this fiat rail in general. So yeah, that is probably one of our main propositions, what we offer to our European clients.
Super. Thanks so much. Monty, you're the only Liechtenstein-based exchange here on the panel. Tell us about the sweet spot of LCX. And I remember you mentioned when we spoke that you work very in a unique way with your traders. If you would like to allude to that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for us, the year started with a big inflow of a new, larger community. People are seeking a trusted trading venue. I think there are some other players on our panel also who are going in a similar direction like us. And some others struggle. Yeah, so there had been a lot of crypto crackdown happening, which thrived a lot of inflow on our platform, including Bittrex closure in Liechtenstein, Bittrex Global, where we increased also our market share, and now we're the leader in Liechtenstein with these 8 registrations. While Liechtenstein is a very small market, right? 38,000 population, but it's a perfect hub. It's a financial hub in Europe with a highly credible regulatory framework, also very open for conversations. So we basically have a close relationship to the regulator. They give us guidance, and we improve on a day-to-day basis and get ready for what's coming in the next couple of years here in Europe. And then, of course, besides this inflow, we also prepared for the next level of LCX exchange. So, which means a lot of the market makers we had on this panel before had been now onboarded. We've seen a lot of new listings coming up, new projects attracting us or approaching us. But we have to be very selective and kind of cherry pick the best projects to present to our platform. And yeah, trying to become a force here in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, you're the only one here on the panel who is headquartered in Europe. I'm curious if there is a question from the audience. Is there someone who... Yeah, you have Binance, Kraken, Bullish, LCX. Come on, guys. Last panel. Please, take it away.
Goes to everyone of you. How much certainty does Meer give you, or how many questions does it answer, and how many new questions does it open up?
Yeah.
That is such a tricky question because I don't think that as an industry you have an answer, right? It provides a clear regulatory framework, but let's see what happens at the end of the year when it actually comes into force. I think it does clarify one thing, though, is that regulation is fundamental. So it's no longer just an option and a nice to have, it's a must have. Then where everyone decides to get regulated depends on their business strategy. We, for example, chose to apply for a license in Germany. Someone mentioned on a previous panel that is the gold standard. We're like, okay, if we get it with the toughest regulator, that means that probably when it needs to be translated into national law, there will be less friction. That was one of our considerations. I think they have the shortest translation period of everyone else. I think it's them in Finland, if I'm not mistaken. So, all you can do is just try to reduce your risks, but the risk is still there.
So what does Mika ultimately provide? As an entrepreneur, and what we've seen here over Crypto Valley conference, it's a balance between innovation and regulation. And in a lot of cases, when we talk about DeFi and protocol level, we want less regulation, actually. But what Mika provides is this bridge to bring the crypto market as it is from a niche to a mass market with access to full banking, probably transferring the monetary system as we know it with central bank digital currencies or kind of regulated stablecoins as it is with Mika, with the e-money framework. And it provides clarity. And with that clarity in terms of rules, it comes also a lot of questions and uncertainty for all the players. What will happen? We now read USDT Tether might not be regulated, will be delisted at your place, right? And then there are other players coming in with new stablecoins. Exchanges might need to block all European countries. 30 countries, 450 million users are here, and that's where we position ourselves to be Mika ready and to conquer this market. But it will be a total shake-up of the industry, which is like more turning the industry into more localized markets. And what's nice to see with Mika, with the markets and crypto assets regulation, is really that we get a unified European market, a single market, which I think Europe always dreamed of and never had. And now we could turn Crypto Valley into a whole Crypto Europe platform, and then comparing these different strong markets, US, Asia, and then really turning Europe in a good spot. Which means for all the crypto projects out there are players where you can attract a community in the African or South American markets as well as Asian markets, and there will be new players emerging here in Europe.
Thank you. I think you summarized it really well. Jonas, I see you want to add.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, from what I see also within Binance, I don't see everything, but from what I see is Mika is a great new picture end goal. Like when it will be there, everything will be beautiful. But it's kind of a pain to get there because, I mean, Monty, you've said it quite well. It's going to be unified framework. It's going to be across the whole of Europe. Fantastic. But the next 2 years are going to be a painful journey of different patchworks, of transition periods, and different jurisdictions applying different rules at different times. And for us, that's really, really tough. I mean, we run an exchange with 200 million users, 24/7, 365 days a week, and we got to continue running this for our users, right? That's what they expect. They want to be able to trade on the 1st of January next year when Mika comes in. And we sort of have to navigate the waters and be quite agile because you mentioned the stablecoins. We don't quite know yet how it's going to happen on the 1st of July. So we got to prepare for all eventualities.
I think what's really cool about this whole stablecoin story, and by the way, it's really surprising how relaxed everyone's about it, because the deadline hits in 20 days. You talk to Circle, you talk to Tether, Circle's like, oh, we're going to get it. It's in 20 days. Okay, I hope they do. But what I think is really cool about this whole stablecoin story is that all of a sudden we have a use case for the euro. Because what are a lot of these exchanges going to do? They're like, since I don't know who the winners are, because you have SocGen that is regulated and has SocGen behind as a bank, but all of a sudden Bitstamp, where the stablecoin is listed, got acquired by Robinhood, so they don't have an exchange, right? So people are just going to take the view that they need to list their assets against the euro, which I think is what Kraken's been leading the pack on. And the ECB is going to be very happy, because finally this project and this experiment and its currency is going to find its use case. And I think the other really cool thing about Mika is that it all of a sudden gives you Europe a head start towards the US. Like, they are still trying to figure out who's going to regulate the crypto industry. Whereas here, we have a framework. Yes, it might take 2 years, and being in Europe, it's probably going to be even longer, but at least we kicked off the process, and they're feeling the heat from us, which is quite a rare thing.
Yeah, it definitely puts a heavy pressure on not only the US, but primarily the US, I agree. Yeah. Any other question? Hi, Chris, please.
Most of the equity markets, US and Europe, are structured where the makers pay for the order flow, the takers get paid. Crypto is the reverse. Do you see that changing at all?
It has to change.
I think it's about like building markets, right? And what's the beauty about the exchange market, and that's why we are all in the business. It's a highly profitable business model. The fees are pretty high at the moment. This might change as the market matures, of course. More competition, then we might fight against the users with like different things. We sometimes offer zero trading for a couple of days or campaigns like that. And then obviously how you integrate bigger partners, there are certain fee levels. I've currently not seen that it's changing, this model. It's kind of I think most of the exchanges have like a similar model. The more volumes you have, the lower the fees get. And then there are like special rules or something implemented. But overall, it's a highly profitable industry, and still like fees compared to the normal banking financial services is quite high, and that's why it's so attractive. Nevertheless, I do feel that with the consolidation which is happening now, there will be like new players emerging, and obviously then if a monopoly is there, let's see what happens again with the fees, right?
I think this fee situation is also very interesting because I think you guys are changing your fee structure in July with prime brokers and the tiers, right? So that's going to be normalizing the market a little bit. I think you're seeing less exchanges coming out with crazy rebates as well. I think this whole concept after FTX that free money doesn't exist and that there needs to be a dollar for dollar is finally sinking in to our industry as well. It's impressive how you have exchanges, for example, like ours, where we charge zero maker and only one BIP taker, and there's no spreads for either Bitcoin and ETH. And then you speak to some of these retail brokers that still charge their clients 2 to 3%, and that's completely fine. So I think we're just going to see more normalization towards the middle. But yeah, crypto is an industry like no other, so who knows how long it's going to take.
Thank you for the question, Chris. So it was recently in the news, Svetlana, that you're working closer together with DLT Finance in Germany. Is there something what you can add to this, or?
Well, yeah, Kraken expands in terms of regulation, and we were regulated recently in Ireland, in Netherlands, and DLT is the latest development. So closing the markets, coming closer to European clients to maintain our #1 position. I think it's a huge step, it's a great step towards another regulation in Europe. Till MiCA is still ongoing, so we attempt to be as much regulated as possible. That's the idea behind.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by this 40% data, what you shared earlier. That's really cool. So I think, Monty, you have a really unique position here because Liechtenstein-based exchange, there are some challenges, but also positives being regulated in Liechtenstein. Do you want to talk about both the challenges as well as...
So you know, we're at the Crypto Valley conference, and it's not Crypto City, but Crypto Valley, which means that it goes along, and we feel to be part of the Crypto Valley while being a separate country over there. And I can invite everybody to explore the regulatory framework over there. It's great for token issuance, for example, but also for tokenization. And I can tell you why. So first, token issuance, if you are looking to raise funds and issue a token, there's a role called a token issuer. You can either apply yourself to do that and then register your your token sale at the regulator to have like a registered token offering, or you can come to us and we place it for you. So we become kind of a placement agent and issue the token under the Liechtenstein legal framework. This has two benefits. First of all, you get a registration, can always say like we register the token sale. Second is you get a classification of the token, meaning is it really a utility token? You can even get like a ruling on it, like a no action letter kind of structure from the regulator saying this is really, we think the same, it's a utility token. So this is very unique. And then the second thing is about tokenization, kind of a future opportunity out there where you could tokenize financial instruments, but also like real world assets, physical assets you can touch. And I think in the industry or news, sometimes real world assets mixed up with financial industries, financial instruments. We separate that clearly, but it's both tokenization of a vehicle. So we've done 4 tokenized bonds, for example, where we give 7% interest rate fixed for Euro, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and LCX token. And that's done with a tokenized bond. So we filed for prospectus, got that approved, endorsed by the Financial Market Authority in Liechtenstein and passported across 30 countries in Europe. This way we can market it across like European Union, as well as selling this as a security token on our platform. The second project we've done is tokenization of a real thing, and we thought what would be easy, valuable to store as an interesting market, and that's diamonds. So we started with the tokenization of diamonds on a separate platform called diamonds.com, where we take a single diamond with a GIA number, and we put that into a token. And what's unique about Liechtenstein, again, is this physical validator role. It's a part of the blockchain law, and the physical validator acts like a notary. It's liable, and in this case, it's LCX. We got this role, and we have to be making sure that the diamond is real, that it's exactly that with the GIA number, that the bridge between physical and digital is embedded and guaranteed, so that the token really holds the ownership rights if you trade it. And last but not least, like we have to do due diligence stuff, so making sure that it's not stolen, that it's not just rented or borrowed for somebody, and that it's insured and really kept in a good vault. And so these are kind of our tokenization projects and token sale initiatives.
Super, thanks so much. Here on the panel, Kraken, for instance, was never hacked. Binance, like Bullish, was never hacked, right? Yeah. Then LCX, I'm not aware either. And I really thought when a few years ago you had an incident, it was very nice how you guys resolved that. How is Binance making sure that it's safe and secure?
I think the incident was actually it was quite cool to see. I wasn't at Binance at the time, so I only saw it external. But you saw that Binance was quite transparent and open to users. They reported it very quickly, shared it openly, and we do that still today. So if there are any issues, we communicate them openly. Thankfully, it doesn't happen too often, but of course, sometimes it does happen when you run such a large marketplace 24/7. We've established a SAFU fund afterwards, the insurance policy, and that adds a lot of safety because it transparently shows how much insurance money there is. It's over $1 billion now, so quite a bit of money, and having that transparent and open is very beneficial for our users, and we think it's a good way to show the transparency of the blockchain.
Super. I want to ask all of you, is there some question what you want to ask the fellow panelist? Just like an ad hoc idea.
I thought this thing you guys are doing with Signum and Flowbank for the tripartite custody is a really cool initiative. How is that going? Is there like a large take-up for clients for tripartite custody?
Yeah, so as a bit of context, it's It's an institutional solution that we have with a bank like Signum, us as exchange, and then the customer. And basically the customer, the client, can deposit the fiat money at that bank and still use that money to trade on our exchange. The operationalization is not so easy. So it's, you know, to do the onboarding and it's quite a process. It's quite work intense. But yeah, we see a lot of interest on the institutional side. Of course, the additional protection or the additional setup that you have comes at a cost. So it does cost something. Some people don't want to spend that money. Some people think it's okay. So depends on the cost consciousness. But overall, very, very interesting product, and just gives new players who want their funds in a separated storage an option to use us, or to use the liquidity on the exchange.
Super. We talked a bit about DeFi, and I'm curious, like Kraken, how is enabling its users to take part in DeFi, and what is there some innovation there? What you guys are working on would be super interesting to learn. Just out of curiosity, who here in the audience is an active DeFi user? Oh yeah! Wow, quite a bit. More than half of the people put their hands up. Svetlana?
Yeah, good question. Well, one might think that centralized exchanges compete with DeFi, but we see it differently. I think Kraken complements quite a lot and support the development of DeFi ecosystem. First, it's a venue which provide for fiat on-ramps. That is essential also for DeFi ecosystem. And just to give you an example, early this year, Kraken launched its own wallet, self-custodian, which provides for multi-chain interface and gives access to users, not just Kraken users, but everyone using this wallet to DeFi ecosystem, and allows to explore this field. So to sum up, we complement and accelerate the adoption of DeFi, and these are two fields which interact with each other, and we see just the potential in that.
Super. You launched the self-custodial wallet, and you guys as well, the Web3. So
Yeah, but I wanted to ask actually, Bullish, I'm not, what do you guys do on the DeFi space?
Yes, so we we're combining a central limit order book with automated market makers. If you were on the market maker panel before, you probably heard that a lot of debate is around providing liquidity and how do you provide that constant liquidity. Well, the automated market makers solve for that. Because they provide constant pricing, the liquidity is very deterministic, and I feel like it's a good example of how CeFi and DeFi can complement each other to deliver a better product to the customer. The result is that you have that when things get really volatile and pricing, and everyone crowds around the same price range on the same exchange, these automated market makers remain very stable, and they keep on posting bids and offers. And that's something that's been very well received by our clients, because, I mean, a lot of them can't onboard on DeFi exchanges because, the lack of KYC, there's a lot of hacks. Whereas with us, it's like these permission pools that still give you access to the incredible technology that comes out of space. And I think we're going to see more and more of these. I think in the last 2 years, everyone was just very focused on surviving, to be honest, after FTX. So I think now that we had this nice bull run and everyone took a breather, I think we're going to start to see more of that coming up.
Yeah, I wanted to say that they are staying away from DeFi because their lawyers said so. But,
yeah, that's right. Actually, with DeFi, I had a saying before, it's about the balance between innovation and regulation, and DeFi is the space where we need actually less regulation. But what we noticed is we did some DeFi development, and when we spoke with regulators, for them it's complex to track. It's also not really covered in MiCA and everything. So we decided to double down on the regulatory side with LCX and take the DeFi projects apart from it. So that's why we have a multi-brand strategy with Timans now being the largest tokenized diamond marketplace, and it's kind of an OpenSea platform, completely DeFi, completely decentralized. And then on the other hand, we created some DeFi wallets, and this we took out and developed now over 2 years, and we just launched yesterday in a public beta, masterdex.xyz. And at Masterdex, there's a unique combination of 3 things. Basically, it's Web3, taking the whole DeFi space or covering it, then AI. So we included some discovery mechanisms, kind of a page rank for Web3. And the third element is the crypto community, where you can discover and see with smart algorithms what others are trading. And with that, we now took that apart to actually make it more self-efficient in terms of not being regulated in that space, purely protocol level, and on the other hand, having a regulated entity with LCX.
Okay, super. I think it's just a feeling I have that it makes a lot of sense to segregate this. So we want to be on time. The last question is that what is really next for centralized exchanges? We talk about regulation, which we know, okay, that is of course next. But apart from that, if from left to right, each of you can say maybe 2 aspects. So basically, we have to answer the title of this.
I wanted to say 3 things about the future. Number 1, the future is decentralized. We really believe it. There are some aspects of the centralized function which are probably going to remain centralized, like fiat bridge, that sort of thing. But apart from that, future is decentralized. Number 2, it's not us who decides, it's our community, it's the users that decide, and our job is to stay agile, stay on top on both fronts, both on the centralized and on the decentralized, Binance Smart Chain, Web3 wallet, whatever have you. So stay agile. And yeah, last but not least, the community is the one that decides. That's going to be the deciding factor of what the future is. All of us.
Yeah, thank you, Denitza.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited about the future. I actually think that we're going to see further collaboration between TradFi and crypto. I don't think that crypto is going to replace any assets. It would just be an additional asset. So you're going to see more of these mixed platforms. You saw the announcement that Bitpanda is now going to be banked by Deutsche Bank for their users. I think that's massive. There was also last week at Consensus, the New York Stock Exchange announced that they're going to be using the CoinDesk Bitcoin pricing index for their cash-settled index options. That's massive. So I think, maybe in terms of being enemies, we're going to find better and more ways to work together. And that's something that I'm excited about.
Super, thank you. Svetlana?
Yeah, if I would boil down the future to just a few aspects in crypto space, I would say first it's once again, institutionalization. Okay, more institutionals coming into crypto space, and this trend has been already last year, so 39% of institutions were involved in the crypto space in 2023, and this is going to rise. Actually, this has this rise of all ships effect, where this participation contributes to more stability, more volume and liquidity, less volatility. So actually positive effect. And the second one, I would say that more and more activity is going on-chain. So more decentralization, more collaboration, and I see the future is bright in this space, yeah.
Oh, nice, because we are all agree. I think, Monty, you will add to this.
Yeah, I want to answer directly on the question, what's next on the horizon for centralized crypto exchanges? And I had been talking about this shake-up of the industry in Europe, coming with the new regulatory setup. And it's also about, I think, 2 key elements. It's about crypto integrity, which we think is a lot about the standards we implement, the regulatory balance between innovation and regulation, but also kind of a washout of players who should not be in the industry, who are fooling users or who are not playing as a normal, like, traditional businessman. So we've seen with a lot of the scandals the industry had been shaking up was not mainly because of some technical issues, but rather fraudulent activity from individual people, right? And so as the market matures, this will be washed away, and I do look forward to this new crypto integrity. And probably last one story I just want to take away here or give to the audience is I'm excited to have this panel here with LCX, Binance, Kraken, Bullish. I think it's amazing, and I wish to or like look forward to the next couple of years how it will be evolving. Because one day I'd been standing with ZZ on the top of a Liechtenstein mountain. This was 2018, and we said, let's do a fiat on and off ramp in Liechtenstein together. Fully regulated, we can set up all the regulatory basis. And we tried, but we miserably failed with that. So we had to go back, start from scratch, and start LCX as it is now. But we've kind of seen how complicated it is for players who had a backlog of lack of KYC or no KYC at the beginning, how to turn that into a regulated company. And I think maybe it's impossible or very hard. I do see you all trying a very good way of doing that, but it will be interesting to see. And from our perspective, we did that right from day one now with LCX, very strict, and we lost a lot of market share at the beginning, but now we do see it's changing, people coming to us, and I do see a big growth. So that's why I'm super excited for the next panel at the Crypto Valley conference, where we see
2025.
how everybody's evolving, and I think everybody is doing their best to tackle that challenges which we are facing ahead.
Super. Denitza, Svetlana, Jonas, Monty, thank you so much for answering all the questions. And are you ready for the boat party?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, super. Please put your hands together for our panel.
Woohoo! Let's give it up for our panel. Thank you so much.